Welcome everybody back here at Veil of Sound. Normally, everybody should keep job and friends apart, but this time I'm gonna fuck up the rule, and I'm gonna bring somebody here onto the show who not only is a great musician, but also who has written for our little magazine and hopefully will soon write again for our little magazine. And we have his good-looking friend Nat here. So George Miller and Nat Salter from 601. Guys, thanks for joining.
Thank you for having us.
No worries.
Yeah. The last show before our Christmas marathon is starting in a few days, so I think we're gonna shake things up a little bit. I hope that George remembers the first thing here on the Veil of Sound is always the pluck of the day. So every one of us will get to pluck a band, a project that he thinks might have been a little underappreciated or simply forgotten. And as I will give you two guys a moment, I will pluck something that I think has never been fully understood completely in Germany, and that unfortunately is already gone for more than a dozen years. And that is also something close to you guys, as far as I remember, Chumbawamba.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, gone since 2012, if I remember correctly, and you don't even find anything on Bandcamp. Only a few tape recordings. And something for the German audience out there. Chumbawamba was much, much more than just top pumping. And even that has not been understood by most of my friends. You know, they were just, he thinks I want to drink. Yeah, but did you really listen to it? No. Just the alcohol. Yeah. And I think they're the only drum and bass band that ever made it into a German English high school book. Because one of their songs from English Rebel Songs was put into one of our English books several years ago to talk about the Industrial Revolution. I think those are things that not a lot of bands can say. So now your chances to pluck something that you think either underappreciated, forgotten, or both.
I would say, I don't know if she's underappreciated, but an artist that I think everyone should listen to who's into anything left field, Claire Rousey has been my most listened to artist of this year. I doubt she'll ever go mainstream, but in the experimental sense of things, she's been on the cover of The Wire, so she's done exceptionally well, and I'm just absolutely in love with everything she does. So Claire Rousey is my pick, I think. I don't know if that goes along with the theme, but yeah.
Wonderful. Nat, your chance. Nat is looking through his Wrapped.
I am. Yeah. I have a real sweet spot at the moment for hauntology kind of stuff. So I think all I've been playing for the last few months is like Ghost Box's back catalogue. They're a record label, and stuff like The Advisory Circle. It all sounds like music from Open University programs, like slightly weird 70s pop, but it's just amazing. I love the vibe. So that's my underappreciated tip. Anything on Ghostbox.
I think there must be something in the air, because over the last couple of weeks, I've been coming back to English music from the 70s in these interviews ever so often. We did the interview with Delak, who has been working with Charles Hayward from Gong and The Seat, and I don't know. There must be something in the air. I don't know why.
I encourage it.
Yeah. We want to talk about the record that you released a few weeks back. We Are Not the Same, through SeeHearRecords. But before we do so, a little icebreaker. What was the hottest sauce that either of you has ever eaten? And we start with Nat, because I think
I'm not the expert on hot sauce. I think the hottest hot sauce I ate that I didn't expect was one I bought from Sainsbury's, and it said it was hot, but it was like a Sainsbury's own brand hot sauce. Sainsbury's is a supermarket, and it was quite possibly the hottest thing I've ever eaten. And it was really surprising. I don't know if it was a bad batch or something like that, but that was definitely, surprisingly warm for where I bought it from.
Any idea how many Scoville it was?
No, I wouldn't like to guess. It wasn't crazy, but it was just the fact that, you think you're picking up a mango hot sauce from a supermarket, own brand. It's not going to be mental, but it was inedible. Pretty much inedible.
George, now come on, show us, hit us. What was the worst thing you ever had?
Well, it's actually documented on video. It's on my Food and Arty channel, and
which we will link beneath here.
Well, I'm taking a bit of time off that at the moment, but the first ever proper outdoor festival I went to cover was a festival called Tech Fest here in the UK in Newark, and I was given by a company called Chili of the Valley this thing called Reaper Roulette. And it was 6 bottles in a cardboard thing that looked like the barrel of a gun. And so it's like a Russian roulette thing. There was 5 normal hot sauce, so a cayenne pepper, kind of normal. And then 1, which was the killer shot. Now, I got the great idea in my head that I was going to get the band Vast Slug, and we were going to do this, 3 of them, and 2 of them and me, were going to do this on camera. And I also, because I was new to the game, did this at 10 o'clock in the morning when I had 3 more interviews afterwards, one of which was Harriet, so big up-and-coming metal band. And so we did this thing, and it was the first one out of the box that I had. It was the Reaper shot. And honestly, it took my head off, but it was afterwards, it started really taking effect. So I got in touch with the guy who made it. I said, this is just Reapers, right? And he went, oh, no. We put extract in that as well. That's the same stuff they put in bear mace. And it was what they used Canadian Mountain Police to take down bears. Anyway, I went off into the first aid tent. I had to be taken home. I was doubled over. I was breathing funny. I spent 3 days in bed as a result. And after that, I've never done hot sauce challenges again. I mean, I've done the 1 chip challenge and things like that, but there's no fun in it. I don't like stomach cramps. Don't want to do that anymore. So there you go.
Yeah. Let's talk about We Are Not the Same. And we have to talk first about the gap that is between We Are Not the Same and the last stuff you released before, which was several years. How did the gap come about?
Well, the thing was, shall I take this now?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Absolutely.
So
remember, he's a journalist. He might talk too much now.
Oh, you always. That's fine.
Well, We Do Bass came out, and we did really well off it. And basically, we found ourselves touring a lot, going out to Spain. I went to Russia, done some gigs back then when you could. Not anymore. But we travelled around a lot. I did a stint out in Norway, and then we did some singles after that, and we did really well with those. So we got DJ Mag gave us their single of the week, and we got our first #1 in the dance in the breakbeat charts, and stuff like that was happening. And we just started making singles and doing remixes for a bit. So we didn't do another album for a bit. And then basically that all culminated in us playing Glastonbury. We did really, really well with that. And then after that, we kind of hit a wall a bit. I had some serious issues at the time, all of which have been cleared up now. But me and Nat needed a break from 601. We've been doing it hard for 20 years at that point, maybe longer. And we needed a break. I know Nat needed a break from me, and I needed a break from me.
Nobody can understand.
But yeah, so I had some issues I had to sort out, and then basically I did the journalism for a few years, and then we started writing stuff again. Tested the water with a couple of singles. Really enjoyed that, and then it came to the point where we were just like, right, if we're going to do this properly again, like properly, like full-time properly, like we were before, like we're only going to make the album that we'd want to buy. So that was the only thing that was, and it was like, if we, sell nothing and it flops, whatever. We made a record together and it was more about our friendship than anything else. And we just rolled the dice on it because we didn't care. I mean, we did care. We cared about making a record for us, but we didn't care about like how many streams it got or whatever. But it's worked out. So that's the short answer to what happened in that 12 years, which is quite a long time. Life happened.
And I think there's also some... Yeah, Nat first.
Yeah. What'd you say?
No. Yeah. Life happened. Yeah. We took a break. And then when the time was right, got back together and, did something different that we wanted to do. Because before, because we were writing dance music, you write into a certain formula, and it's very restrictive when you're in such like a small genre that we were making music in. So we figured we can do a bit more, stretch our legs, try some different stuff, and luckily it's worked out really well.
It's interesting how you say that, Nat, do things a little differently. I think listening to We Are Not the Same, I have a feeling as if it's is it 11 tracks or 12? I'm stuck at that.
It's 11.
It's 11. Right? So I'm listening to 11 tracks from 11 different bands. So that's already an accomplishment in and of itself. And that has not primarily something to do with the lots of guests that you had. We're going to come to that in a moment. But I have a feeling as if like every track is a little different. And I'm very sure that is also a calculated difference between the tracks. Because, I mean, like, I tried to write down a few things. I wrote down, okay, this is dance music. That was the Concrete Hyena track. Next track, okay, this sounds like techno. The Death Collective track. Oh, okay, this sounds like Faithless. And I was like... And don't even get me started on the real drum and bass shit. Like I was like, okay. I'm not supposed to understand or see a red thread. But then it came to me. There is a red thread in it. And you've just mentioned it. It's what you like. Were you surprised at how many people like the stuff you like?
I was surprised that the way that we mashed it all together became cohesive, because Nat and I have always been like the guys in the dance music scene who weren't really dance music guys.
Yeah.
We started as Nat started with industrial stuff. I started with like ambient experimental stuff. Still do that now, and we were kind of an odd couple in the dance music scene. We didn't come up on house music. We didn't come up on like disco or anything like that. We were very much from, like, I was in a punk band before I was in 601. I just got rid of the guitars and used samplers instead. And we've always respected acts that were very difficult to pigeonhole. And I think that was the general idea. And yeah, it is a melting pot of stuff we like with a bunch of musicians we like as well. I like to think that there is a cohesive line running through it that it does just sound like us.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if that was the plan, but that's how it's turned out. I mean, my go-to example is what genre is The Prodigy. The genre of the music the Prodigy make is they make music that sounds like the Prodigy. There's nobody else like them. There's so many bands like that where they're a genre of one band. And it's kind of like trying to reach a point where we can make different styles of music, but it does still sound like us. And yeah, it's about trying to be a genre of one, I think, really.
Yeah.
And bringing all the different
Maybe it might be
influences
a genre
across.
of 601.
Yeah, 601, yes.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. I think I've tried to get to it. I think there is a certain kind. With a guitar, it would be easy. I would say there is a certain tuning that connects all of the tracks, and there is I cannot pinpoint it, but there is a certain kind of sound that seems to be underneath it all. It might just be the equipment that you're using that connects all of it. Well, or is there something that you really...
people always say that they can tell us from our drums. Our drums apparently are the thing, that our drum sounds, and what we like gravitate towards the drum sounds. I know I'm a big fan of like dusty old breakbeats and live sounding snares, and Nat's a big fan of like he's got a lot of what you can't see in that photo, that picture, and that is he's surrounded by analog keyboards, and yeah, and that's like really into all the modular stuff and all that sort of stuff. So I think there's a lot of tricks that we've learned over the last 30 years that have sort of stuck with us that nobody else does, because we started doing them before there was even PCs, you know? So I think that sort of shapes the sound. Old dogs with old tricks, I guess. But I don't know. What do you reckon of that?
I don't know. It's the I guess it's just the method we use, isn't it? You know, and the sounds we use. We do try and, you know, I think it's, you know, nowadays there's so many plugins and so many synths. It's you can make music that sounds different every time. But if you think back to like how 90s electronica bands, you know, people in the bedroom, they'd have like 3 synths, a drum machine, a sampler, and a mixer, and a couple of effects, and that'd be it. And that's how you get like a cohesive sound. And I think it's just the methods we use in trying to create a cohesive sound every time. So it's like we can start on a new idea, and we'll both stop and go, this doesn't sound like us. You know, and then it gets changed until it does. So I couldn't tell you what our sound is, but I do think we have got our own sound, definitely.
Yeah, so that is unmistakable.
Yeah, it's an unspoken thing with me, and that we know what sounds like us, but we couldn't tell you what it is.
yeah, and that might be the quintessentially best thing you can have, right? You know, a deeper understanding for your partner as a musician, and also for the whole project as a band. You know, that might be the best thing there is. You've already mentioned it. I looked it up, and I'm, you know, like the dates that are given on the internet are always to be taken with doubt, but officially, at least along the lines of the web, you are now in your 33rd year of a project. I mean, like, of course, nobody thinks about spending 33 years with George Miller. Who would want to? I still don't know if my wife will make 33 with me. You know, like we're now in our 13th, so we'll see about that. No, 12. Oh my goodness, she will come. But have you noticed a change in your musical relationship over those 30 years?
We just got better at it.
That's the best thing to say about a relationship.
To be honest, when Nat and I work together, it's like there's so much that's unspoken. Like we just know what our roles are so well now that it's become easier to work. There was a period when, especially when we do bass, when it was exciting, but it was like we were getting all this traction and we were getting all this attention. But it was kind of hard not to panic a little, because we were like, oh, can't fuck up. And now it's just like, I think we're a bit more like, okay, no, we know what we're doing now. It's taken us 33 years to say that, but I think, is that fair, Nat?
Yeah. I mean, I think we work together well because we are very different people. And we do different things within, you know, the band. So I think it's complementary. You know, neither of us could do this without the other person, and you know we say that all the time. But together it seems to work somehow.
Yeah, and I mean, like, think about it. Who can say that about any kind of relationship that you have been working with or lived with, been married to, or whatever for 33 years? I mean, like, I just heard one of the best jokes yesterday, and I think I have to bring it here. You know, like, when Voyager 1 was sent into space, they put on 29 songs onto that little metal plate. But they forgot to include the Rolling Stones, because when the aliens discover that plate in 200 years, the Rolling Stones will be the only band left still playing.
Yeah, true.
Maybe 601 can give them a ride for the money. But
well, I don't think we'll be stopping anytime soon.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely my retirement plan. I don't know, movie soundtracks, maybe. We'll go into that. I think that's what older producers are supposed to do.
Yeah, and also older directors. I mean, like, think of John Carpenter. He's making more soundtracks at the moment than movies. There must be some money in there. But now we've been joking around about it. But would you say, like, that We Are Not the Same is a kind of a comeback for you as a project, or have you never considered it a real hiatus?
No, it was a real hiatus, and it's a comeback record. I think that's fair. It's a comeback personally for me, coming back as an artist. I work in the music industry anyway, but as an artist, you know, it was really, because I've been talking to all these musicians all these years, like I know what I'm on about, and they're like, you make that dance music stuff, don't you? And it's like, well, now I've got some skin in the game. I'm like, okay, I wasn't lying. I can actually make music.
Yeah, you can.
So
you go ahead.
Is it? Yeah, it's a comeback. I think that's fair, isn't it? Now
it is. It's weird though, because we've kind of like come back, and it's because the music, you know, we've historically made doesn't really, not that it doesn't exist anymore, but it's not as big a scene as when we stopped doing it. It's like we've come back and there's nowhere to go, so we've had to kind of like make our own place to go.
That is also something that I wanted to ask. I mean, like, of course, 30 years ago there was a demand for the kind of music that you were making. You know, projects like LTJ Buchan was hitting it big, Faithless were huge, FX Twin. All of these electronic artists were pushing boundaries and were accepted by the mainstream audience. But I think, but nowadays there is not such a scene anymore. What do you think?
No, yeah, it's I mean, like, it's all incredibly commercial and formulaic, really. You know, you've got EDM, and it's that kind of thing doesn't really interest us. You know, we're too old for a start. Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't exist.
It was funny actually, because we were DJing in Manchester recently, and we were trying to find stuff to play with our stuff, and we were really struggling to find music that would mix into what we're doing now, which is fine. I don't mind that. I just write some more music, but I mean, dance music isn't. I mean, to be honest, dance music should be absolutely bricking itself right now with the rise of AI, because dance music is the first thing that's easy to replicate for a computer. But it's quite interesting, actually. I asked one of those AI apps if it could make an Aphex Twin song, and it couldn't. And I asked, so there is still some hope for the individuals in the scene, but if you look at DJ Mag or Mix Mag or anything like that, it's just full of adverts, and it's like people are here today, gone tomorrow. That's the reason why we fell out with the dance music scene is there's no room to establish yourself as an artist in dance music, because it's so faddish. It's like fashion. It's, you know, it's so ugly it has to be changed every 15 minutes, and it's not something you can hinge a career on unless you're part of the boys club at the top that have been there since the beginning. So
yeah, but even for them it's difficult. I mean, like, let's be honest, what is the last really great new dance track that was written? The thing that you get when it comes to dance music, and I mean, like sometimes my daughter brings up stuff like that where she's like, "Oh, I want to dance to that," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's basically just a sped up version of an 80s or a 90s song."
Well,
and she's like, "No, it's not," and I'm like, "Give me a second," and she's like,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of exciting electronic music. I just wouldn't say dance music. Electronic music's really great at the moment. Like, you know, the latest Bug record is just outstanding.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, or also where artists take a lot of electronic stuff and mix it with other genres. You know, like I would say a lot of the backwash and a lot of the clipping sounds are very, very electronic. And it's awesome music. You know, like we have to be clear with that. But you know, real dance music, I think. I mean, like apart from the fact, of course, that I know for George at least, and for me, we listen to a lot of other different stuff, and we don't have enough time to listen to everything. So, but you know, you don't even hear something on the radio, which I only hear when my daughter or my wife have it on. But anyway, but I mean, like you are not part of an electronic scene or a dance music scene, yes. But would you agree that you are a huge part, or that you are a part of that UK alternative rock and metal scene?
Yeah, Kerrang picked up on us and gave us 4Ks, you know, and we got put in the Kerrang charts and stuff like that. Kerrang were really sportive, and it was half by design, but half by circumstance. You know, I wanted to work with the musicians that I've been talking to, and they happen to all be like UK underground rock musicians and post-rock musicians and stuff like that. And I just wanted to see what it would sound like. Yeah. And they're all mates. More on that later. But we weren't doing it to be. That's what the title was. It's like we're not the same. We you know. And I was talking also collectively. We're not the same. Our scene isn't the same. Our world isn't the same. You know, we're not the same anymore. So that's kind of what all that was. But yeah. I mean, we still call ourselves an electronic band. Yeah. We're still in the same way Health would be, or Perturbator, or whatever, even though we've got nothing to do with that sort of sound.
I would agree with Perturbator, but as Health is instrument-based, I would like to disagree. But Nat, question, did you know all the acts that he came up with? Or did you first have to do some research?
No, I had to do some research. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I just sit in the studio and with my head in a pair of headphones most of the time. But I mean, you know, I do like listening to new music, and it's been really good working with other bands. It's been a stretch, you know. It's been inspirational, and it's been really good. So I'm glad he knows all these bands. Basically.
I mean, without if there was something where you said like, no, that's taken it too far. But has there ever been a moment where you said like, George, I like you, but this will not work in our soundscapes?
No.
Please don't say so. Who. Don't say if. But, you know.
No, I don't think, like I say, it's been a challenge because, I mean, from a technical point of view, mixing guitars and synths is tricky. But no, I mean, everybody's, you know, all the collaborators have brought something different, and it's all just like creative sparks, you know, to get how can we make this work? You know, what kind of style can we do with this? You know, and it's just been inspirational.
Yeah, for everybody out there who might not be familiar with all the guest spots on We Are Not the Same, 11 tracks, only 3 of them, at least officially, don't have a collaborator. You know, it's We Are Not the Same, it's Crossed, and it's Level Up. All the others have a collaborator. Was that also something that was important for you? Now, if we come back as a project, we want to push it further than we did before. And with all the collabs, I mean, like already the logistical stuff must have been a nightmare.
That's why it took 4 years to make, because you're waiting for people to do their parts. But when we came together with the idea for We're Not the Same, this is like our collab record. The next record's not going to be a collab record.
Yeah.
It was basically Nat and I, being the age that we are, remembered the Judgment Night soundtrack from the 90s.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And we wanted to do...
Yeah.
We wanted to do something along the same lines. So we'd have like disparate artists putting their take on things. And the Judgment Night soundtrack was a large inspiration. We were both like, because it was a huge record for us when we were younger. And we were like, what would that look like nowadays for us? Not like for the masses, just for us. What would be our Judgment Night? And that's what this is. So that was kind of the through line.
But then, you know, the nerd in me has to come up and has to say, like, okay, so you chose a Happy Walters soundtrack for an Epic Records soundtrack, but why did you then not choose Spawn, where you already have electronic artists?
So I didn't like the Spawn soundtrack.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not as good.
I have to say that there are lots of songs on that record, but I still love to death. Not all of them. Also, not all of them have aged well, but there are still. But that's the same for that's the same for the Judgment Night soundtrack. There are also some tracks on there where I say like, hasn't aged well. But yeah, I know what you mean.
I think it's flawless. I had it on in the shop the other day. I was bopping about to it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, like, it also transports us straight back 34 years ago, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Interestingly, both movies are shit. You know? Soundtracks are great.
Oh, without a doubt. It, like Nat said in another interview, he said it was the greatest soundtrack to a shit movie ever.
Yeah. And I think the Spawn soundtrack has taken that even to another level, because the movie is like a -2 out of 10, right?
It was dreadful. Dreadful. But yes.
And that comes to me, who I love the Spawn comics. You know, I think up to like one of the first 3-digit numbers. I had all of them. I even had some of Capullo's side project comics, but the movie was just utter shit. Yeah. So you had this idea of making a collab record. Okay. Did you write specific songs for every of the artists, or did you write the songs together with the artists?
No, we wrote them for the artist. At least I did in my initial. The way we work in the studios, I put the initial ideas together and then I take them to Nat. Nat works with it for a while, and then we come back together. We sort of backwards and forwards tennis it a bit. But I definitely, with some of the artists, there was an artist I wanted that I couldn't get. So the last track on the album, Inkblood was written for someone else. It was written actually with Lowen in mind. And that came about from a conversation I had with their drummer about soca rhythms and Brazilian rhythms. And I was saying, like, wouldn't it be so cool, like, if you did that, A, in a dance context, but B, with a sort of metal edge? Because I know Sepultura did it in a metal context. I was like, well, let's try that. And I did initially write that with Nina in mind, but obviously Lowen have gone through the stratosphere in the last year.
Correctly so.
Oh, absolutely. Outstanding band. And Tribe of Ghosts, Adam and I had been backwards and forwards about doing a track for a while. And I said, well, why don't you ever go with this? And he came back with something completely different to what it started out with. And it transformed that tune. Ari's tune, Ari from Hidden Mothers, was definitely written with him in mind, because it was a conversation we both had at ATG about, wouldn't it be great to do like an LTJ Bookham style track with post-rock guitars? And that was definitely written with that in mind.
Thanks for confirming my inner reference.
Yeah, no, totally true. Like the Kieran one, the Death Collector one, was definitely. We'd just come from doing 2 remixes for the Infernal Sea, This is why nothing was off the table with us, because we already did our two most extreme remixes before we'd even got to the record. Like we had remixes on Candlelight, which I thought was incredible because obviously that's somewhere I didn't expect to be. So after that, we were like, well, we've got to do a track like that on the record. And then I was like, Kieran really likes his electronic music and techno and things like that. And I was like, well, let's see what a death metal vocal sounds like on a techno track. And I'll stick some like down tuned guitars in there as well. And it came out great. So I think for everyone on the record, and the other one who deserves a mention, because we haven't mentioned her in other interviews, Candy from Fake Your Death. Mm-hmm. First track written for the record. Now, I interviewed them back in 2023, and they were doing Strange Forms Festival, and I saw her on stage, and I was like, this is the closest thing we've got to a new Atari Teenage Riot. And I was like, I was totally taken with them straight away. And her performance in particular. And I was like, I've got to get this girl on a track. So we wrote something. I remember I said to Nat, we're going to do something like Atari Teenage Riot-y with a shouting girl on it. It's going to be great.
I will send you a link to the track, but it reminded me of a little later, George, because I had something totally different in my mind. To me, it sounded a lot less like Atari Teenage Riot. I don't know why, but I'll send you the link later. There is one thing that you've just mentioned, like vocals. A lot of the times your contributors added some vocals. I mean, like we had Candy, we had, also Matt Rush MC and all the other people. But there are also some moments where you didn't get vocals, right? I mean, like for Outrunner, Din of Celestial Births, how shall they deliver vocals if they don't have them themselves? How was that?
That was because I wanted to do a drum and bass adjacent tune. But we're known for our bass lines, for our synthesized bass lines. I said, we'll do a track with no synthesized bass lines on. And we'll get a bass player and say to them, do the craziest effects and stuff you can do on bass. Make it all played. Because none of that's programmed. It's all played by Matt. And that was basically it. We gave him drums and the synth washes. And there was a big gap in there where a bass line would be. And we just said, go crazy, mate. And that's what he did. So that was entirely meant to showcase his talents on the bass, because in Dinner Celestial Birds, his bass playing is phenomenal. So,
So, okay, now you have a lot of these collaborations set. You might have already have their contributions, vocals, musical contributions. You get all of that, and then maybe, Nat, as you are one of those people who then twist and tweak things, how much twisting and tweaking was done after you had all of those things together?
I was going to say, we've never sent the finished tracks to people. We'll send them like a rough idea, because then you get ideas back from them, and then you might think, oh, that's a nice little bit of vocal, we'll drop everything out there and just have that vocal by itself. Or like Ari sent, I think he sent like 60 tracks of like weird noises he'd made, shaking a cutlery drawer and things like that. And
talking about not having a life.
Yeah, but it's things like that. So in that tune, there was like a little sound in the background that kind of caught our ear, and it's like, let's make that louder. And that ended up becoming like a massive part of like the second part of that song. That's a sound that was tiny little sound in the background that he sent us. And it's like, oh, well, we'll boost that up, distort it a bit. And that became like one of the main components of the tune, the second half. So it is a trick. We're not writing the songs with the people, but what you get back is always inspirational and always changes the tune. So the final tunes take a bit of tweaking, and there were cases where we went back to people and said, this bit's great, but can we like with Candy, we got a bit more singing out of her. There was a bit where we thought this really needs some more kind of like vocals in the background. So it is a collaboration, and the music you end up is not something we would have come up with by ourselves, and it's not like we're just sticking a vocal on the top of it. It is real kind of like inspirational sparks coming back, and then we're changing the song to best fit round what we get back.
Did any one of the contributions completely change the track?
Good question.
Thank you.
Just.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I was thinking maybe Fade Out was exactly how we intended it. I don't know if they did.
Say the Hidden Mothers one. That did, because we got all this stuff back, and it's like, oh, crikey, how are we going to cram all this in? And I don't think we left anything out that they sent back. So yeah, that was massively different sonically from what we sent them. Because yeah, like I say, we pulled that sound out. There was a couple of other sounds, and we managed to fit all the tracks he sent back in the background in various little sonic, like kind of little tweaks. So I think that was probably the one that was changed the most by what we got back. Yeah, because it took the second half of the song in a totally different direction.
Something that I also like about the record is that if somebody listens closely, and somebody like me who isn't like really into like all of historically electronic music for the last 50 years or so. So I know my stuff, but I'm not as knowledgeable as you two are. But I always have the feeling as if sometimes I've heard like, okay, so this is what they took from Godflesh, like the industrial dub stuff. Then I had the feeling, okay, this is like real techno. And all of that. Was it also, maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, an idea to bring all of the genres together that you were listening to 30, 40 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't help but be influenced by, what you listen to. And because we weren't going for a certain sound, yeah, it's kind of like free reign just to bring whatever we felt was right for the track, whatever fitted the track. So yeah, I mean, there is a lot of influence from stuff we've been listening to over the years. Yeah, definitely.
I think there's a lot to be said for the fact that a lot of the music you listen to in your formative years, you still think it's great when you're in your 40s. And especially at the moment, I've been getting a lot of like with the noise rock, there's been several great noise rock records recently that have made me yearn for 1989, that sweet spot before grunge hit, when Daydream Nation by Sonic Youth came out, and all of these great guitar tones, and Jay Mascis was on fire, and all of this stuff. And it kind of, we do reference older stuff, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think my son's 18, and he's like picking up on stuff and going like, like, there's this whole world of music before we had Facebook, etc., where people just plugging in and playing. And there was a golden age of dance music that around about 1993, which like doesn't get talked about nearly enough. So yeah, I think maybe because we came up in 93, we started in 93-ish, and that sort of, I still like the same shit I liked back then. So I suppose it will creep in.
So yeah. I have two more questions before we come to the quickfire round at the end. And the first one is, and I have to ask that because that's the track that to me is even more outlandish on the record than the Death Collector track. And that is BSSLN with Mad Rush MC. Because it sounds like a band that a lot of people, for whichever reason, liked to hate in the 90s, and that was Faithless. I'm very sure you didn't want to write a Faithless track, but can you see the similarities? Because of Mad Rush MC's flow, for example.
Yeah. And that was on, Mad Rush has 3 different rapping voices. And he says that all the time. He's got his like sort of hyper club voice, and then he's got his sort of low register thing, which is kind of dark and dubby, which is, now you say it, a lot similar to Maxi Jazz.
Yeah.
And basically, we'd done a tune with Rush on the last record on We Do Bass, and it was such an enjoyable situation. I'm sure Rush will be on the next record as well. He's just one of those guys. We're very good friends, and I think he's brilliant. We both do. So, yeah, his delivery was meant to be low register, so I can see the parallels between that and Maxi Jazz's sort of like low register thing. Yeah, definitely.
Do you know the cameo that Maxi Jazz had in the movie?
Oh, I did know this.
Yeah. You've not been listening to all of our interviews this year, Mr. Miller. If you had, you would know.
No, I must have missed this one.
It's high fidelity. It's high fidelity.
Oh,
Whereas he's standing in front of a club, John Cusack comes to the door, and he's like, "Is that Peter fucking Frampton?" And Maxi Jazz is just like,
there we go.
There's another cameo in there, but that is more difficult to see. If anybody wants to know, I'm not going to clue it up, but you have to listen to the interviews over the summer with one of the older guys that we have. I'm not going to say more. Last thing, and in our little pre-chat, I told the guys that I think I found something about the record that they might not have been thinking about. Did you know that your record title is an acronym?
Yeah, once.
Oh, shit, he knows it. But that was something that I thought like very interesting because I mean, like, we are not the same. And at the same time, I have a feeling as if you're putting wants out at a time when everybody wants things but doesn't give. Is that indirectly a comment? Or is it just, we want this? These are our wants.
Well, it can be, if you like. I only noticed that when I was bundling up the record to send to the record label. I just put it as once and sent the file away. Yeah, can be.
Open for interpretation.
Yeah, I mean, the title actually, I've got to give it, I haven't mentioned this before, but I will. I've got a T-shirt, I always buy the merch, a T-shirt off a band called Spaced. And I just seen them. I just done a little cameo thing from with Cancer Bats boss interview thing. Anyway, I got one of the T-shirts, and on the back it had this print that said "A million reasons why I'm not like you." And I thought that's a cool lyric, whatever. And then I thought, along those lines, we are not the same. Like, we are not the same. And then I thought of all the. And then I noticed it had become an internet tag as well. But yeah, it wasn't the once thing. I only realised when I was packaging the album up to send it away to the record label. I have to say. Yeah.
So, guys, first of all, thanks for all the insight into the new record, also for the time in between the records. We have to say that you are not one of the most how shall I say, productive acts. So maybe not make us wait another 12 years for a new record would be very nice. Thank you. And then the infamous quick fire round at the end.
Right.
And this one was really difficult because I had too many options to choose from. So I first thought, okay, let's go the local round. And as I know that you guys are based in Yorkshire, right? Leeds?
Leeds. I'm in Leeds, and that's in Harrogate. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm German. I don't know the difference. I thought let's give you guys some bands from the area, and we will make a little time journey. Let's start off with The Wedding Present versus Def Leppard.
Oh. Right. Okay. Now, Hysteria by Def Leppard was the first album I bought with my own money on cassette. And it's the reason why I still like heavy metal. It got me when I was 8 years old. And Wedding Present, right? He's a local legend around here.
Yeah.
But
he was even covered by Jimmy Eat World. Come on.
I know, but he's a Mardy bastard. He was well known for being miserable and a bit rude. And I don't know, Nat, you probably like Wedding Present, don't you?
I was going to say, yeah, we are not the same, because I would say Wedding Present over Def Leppard every day of the week.
I hope my research as well, because the next one will bridge the gap between the generations. Sisters of Mercy versus Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh God, Sisters of Mercy all day long.
Yeah, I'd say Sisters of Mercy.
Although we have to say that Bring Me the Horizon is closer to We Are Not the Same than anything that.
Okay. Respect.
I don't know. You make your choice. I just thought about
what they do. I respect what they do. Yeah. I respect Ollie Sykes's vision and following through on that vision as well. He's a very hard worker. And I know people who know them, and good luck to them. But
let's point it out. When we guys, especially George and I, started listening to metalcore, it was stuff like Shai-Hulud and stuff like that.
Yes,
something very very different from Bring Me Horizon. Good music, cool. and I know that many people love it, and I'm respecting anything that the guys do. I think they're doing a much better job at anything. God, what's the name? Falling in Reverse have ever done. Let's not get into the personal stuff, but also musically.
Anyway, Bring Me the Horizon are very good at what they do.
Yeah,
but they're not Sisters of Mercy.
True. They like the sun, at least sometimes. Last of the locally based comparisons, and I think this one might be the closest that I'm going to give you. Arctic Monkeys versus Pulp.
Oh. Arctic Monkeys' first record, but nothing beyond that. Pulp, you've probably got an opinion about Pulp.
Yeah, I think I prefer it to Arctic Monkeys, to be honest with you.
I only like the first Arctic Monkeys record.
That's really exactly the thing. When we compare records, it's Arctic Monkeys through and through. When it comes to body of work, then I think Pulp beats them.
Also,
and when it comes to style, then also.
Pulp beats them because Jarvis Cocker had the best radio show on Radio 6, and we used to listen to it. We used to listen to it on the way back from gigs, didn't we, Nat?
Yeah, on Sundays. And he's directed videos for Aphex Twin, so definitely Pulp.
Pulp gets it.
Nat gives me something that I wanted to write down, but I forgot. Aphex Twin, the breakbeat stuff or the ambient stuff? Which one would you rather put on right now?
I really
11 o'clock at night, probably the ambient stuff, to be honest with you.
Maybe you need to wake up.
Yeah.
I really like the I Care Because You Do album. And that era, also going into the Richard D. James album. So that kind of was bridging the gap between the mental stuff and the ambient stuff. So that era,
Let's go back a little bit again in time into the 90s. I'll give you Left Field versus Underworld.
Oh.
I never said this would be easy.
That's hard.
I know.
That is really hard.
For me, actually, that is a very easy one. Shall I say mine first?
Go for it.
Underworld are on the Trainspotting soundtrack.
Yeah, but that's my least favourite track they've done.
But it's one of the best movies ever to come out of Brexit country.
Yeah, sorry about that. No Bass with My Head Man is an absolute underrated gem of the 90s. Second Toughest in the Infants was great as well.
I'm going to say Underworld because they released a Boiler Room this year, and to say that they're both in their mid-60s, it absolutely kicked ass. It was amazing. It's on YouTube. It's worth checking out. It is fantastic for a live set from...
Are the Left Field guys aren't making any music anymore?
Yes.
Okay.
I think one of them is, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just one of them. Left Field, I can't let this go, right? Leftism was an absolute work of art.
Yeah,
it was
Rhythm and Stealth was
incredible.
also good.
Rhythm and Stealth as well, amazing. But they've only done 2 records, and they were both great. And Leftism was like the sound of like the mid-90s. So
Left field.
But Underworld are cooler.
You got to make a choice. Okay. One of the nicest pairings of electronic music that I've seen in the last couple of months is the following couple: Bong Ra versus Author and Punisher.
Oh, Author and Punisher. Author and Punisher, without a doubt. He makes his own instruments.
Yeah, that's true. Nat?
I'd say the same. Yeah, absolutely.
And the live show is spectacular.
Did you listen to the new record?
Yeah.
Because I love the way that he does the bird sounds thing.
Absolutely amazing. I've had the honour of talking to Tristan a few times, and he's just got a brain the size of a planet. I find him utterly inspirational.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. For many Europeans, the electronic sound to come out of the UK in the 90s was trip-hop. So I'll give you Portishead versus Massive Attack.
Massive Attack.
Massive Attack.
That's wrong.
I love Portishead.
That's wrong on both ends. It's always Portishead, but anyway.
I love Portishead, but Massive Attack are just fantastic. Yeah. Blue Lines is one of my top 5 albums, I reckon.
Yeah, so that's the same for both of us. And Mezzanine is just a work of art. Protection's great.
No Protection's better though. The
No Protection is the one.
Dubbed out version. Yeah, every time.
But like Dummy is an incredible record, and it sounded like nothing else when it came out. It was utterly insanely brilliant.
All 3 of their studio albums are.
Yeah, I mean, but Dummy had a huge impact. Like that blindsided everyone. But so did Blue Lines, and so did Mezzanine, as So no, Massive Attack, and for continuing to be amazing as well. Massive Attack they haven't let up. I mean, even the weak albums, I don't think are weak.
You mean the few in the early millennium?
Yeah, like the 13th window. Was it 13th window? It's called.
I think it's 100th window, isn't it?
100th window. That's it. I knew it was Windows. But you just have to take a bit of time with them. Just like surrender to them. A great example is the track that was used on the Luther series soundtrack. I can't remember what the name of the track is, but it's beautiful. So
right, I'm going to go off on a tangent here, but it's actually related to Massive Attack because Tricky was once a member of Massive Attack. There's a TV show on Apple TV at the moment called Down Cemetery Junction or Cemetery Junction. And the end of the last episode that I watched, the music playing out was Black Steel by Tricky. And that is such a tune. I instantly had to go back and listen to Mac Tinkway from start to finish.
But when we talk about, I know I might be too much of a Portishead fanboy here, but if we're talking about Side Effect, man, come on, guys. Rustin Mann and Beth Gibbons, that is nearly unbeatable, that record. At least for me. But I'm also a Talk fan. So, Anyways, I have 2 more to give you. We've already mentioned both acts, Clipping versus Backwash.
Oh, that's difficult. Like, gosh. There's one of my albums of the year, so Only Dust Remains is an extraordinary piece of music, especially when you consider how she changed her sound without really changing her tone. She changed her sound, but her tone remains the same. I saw her do one of the most stunning live performances at Supersonic this year. Just her with a microphone, no backup DJ, nothing. Just her and a microphone, exposed, vulnerable, perfect. And so Backwash is incredible. Clipping, you can't deny the flow, the rap. For quick-fire rap, it's a different thing, really. I think Backwash delivers exactly what I want from an artist, which is total honesty, just raw as hell. So Backwash, I love Backwash. Absolutely. I love clipping, but I love backwash more.
So, no.
Nah.
I'm going to be entirely honest. I haven't listened to much backwash, but I do like the clipping album, so I'm going to go for clipping.
And the next one is musically not even in any way related, but it were the first two things that I associated with We Are Not the Same. Godflesh versus Ronnie Size. Which one? And I'll make it easy. Not in general, but which artist would you rather listen to after this interview?
Well, see, Nat and I are going to have different answers to this, I think.
Yeah, but that's a good thing.
I'm going to say Godflesh, because like Street Cleaner was like a really pivotal album for me when I was young. It was amazing. Saw them live. Amazing. Rodney Size, I love it, but yeah, I'm going to go. Godflesh is more where I've come from, I think. I think that's because I started out like industrial, and from industrial that went into techno, and then from techno that kind of like, yeah, just everything else. But yeah, Godflesh for me.
And I would say Ronnie Size, which is the funny thing is that you'd think I'd go for the metal one, but I don't know. I was massively part of and into the drum and bass scene in the mid-90s, and Ronnie Size dominated. V Recordings dominated. Crust dominated. Die did. The Represent album was just incredible.
Yeah.
They were the like street level drum and bass crew that weren't all, they were dirty and grimy, and they were just they were distorted and cool. And Ronnie Size, what a man. Yeah.
And also a little bit scary. That's what I always liked about Ronnie.
Absolutely. And if I hear Like Rats one more time, I'm done. But I do like Messiah. And yeah, they're in that band of Godflesh. Yeah.
So, guys, now one of you will listen to some breakbeat, the other will listen to some industrial dub. I'm gonna go to bed. But as this is the last interview before Christmas, both of us give us your favorite Christmas tracks. One each. And if anybody says Last Christmas by Wham, this interview will not be published.
No, I've got a good one. Go on then.
Okay. It's not a Christmas song, but it is I'm going to say The Power of Love by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. That makes me think of Christmas.
Yeah, it's got a Christmassy video. The video is completely Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But that's a hell of a tune, so that's going to be my guilty choice.
George?
I'm going to say A Christmas Fucking Miracle by Run the Jewels, which is a Christmas song.
Which is a Christmas song. I'll also give everybody one. It's my latest favorite Christmas track, When the Thames Froze by Smith and Burroughs.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
So, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. I will enjoy my bit of sleep and then talk to you soon, folks.
Cool. Cheers.
Absolutely. I will talk to you soon, mate.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cool. Cheers.
Thank you, Thorsten. Bye.